Hello there. So today I wanted to talk about tinnitus and the negative feedback loop. So what happens when we get tinnitus is not only do we hear the sound, but we are distressed about it and we get anxious about it. And the more we get anxious and distressed about it, the more we perceive the sound. And the more we perceive the sound, the more we are anxious and distressed about it. So that is the loop where you go from anxiety and distress to the sound, and it just keeps on going, and then it's really hard to break free of it. So one of the ways to break free of it is to first understand that that is what is happening in a large majority of cases of people who are very distressed by tinnitus. Is the perception of the sound is heightened. I don't want to say louder or not loud. It's not quite so much like that as it is that because we feel distressed, anxious, the sound is perceived more, and it becomes more important to try to solve it. And there's kind of a one other side, a similar idea, but not exactly the same, as our perception of our ability to control it. There's a desire to want to control the sound and control the loudness and go so far as to control it, such as to make it go away. And as we feel that we can't control it, that also is a part of the negative feedback loop where we feel anxious and so forth. Now, but there are a lot of people who have gotten to a place where they are not distressed and anxious about it anymore. And they do feel some sense of control about it. How would you control it if you can't make it go away? Well, a lot of people are able to use things like the background sounds and other noises to help sort of drown out the tinnitus where you can't hear it or you don't notice it as easily. And other people are able to just move their thoughts onto other topics, other subject matter in their brain, so that they're not thinking about it, and hence they sort of have controlled it in the sense that they're not just continuously listening for the sound. So this negative feedback loop can be very much at the heart of our ability to be able to get to a better place. As I've said so many times on these videos, first go to the doctor and get checked. And then second, if they say you're okay, acknowledge that you are safe and nothing's going to happen to you. So there's nothing to be distressed about in the sense that something bad is going to happen to you because of the sound. And second, in terms of controlling it, that's, again, we want to work with those background sounds and try to find some sounds that are similar to the sound of the tinnitus. It could be more than one sound. If you need to, you could have 2 or 3 different devices in the same room if you need to go that far to play a couple of different sounds. That maybe you have more than one sound in your tinnitus. Sometimes some people may use sounds that have a variation of beeps and things that are just sort of like draw your attention to those things, and that you may not be able to find exactly the same sound as your tinnitus, but you can find other sounds that sort of kind of take your attention off of the tinnitus. And then also along the lines of control is learning to focus on other things and practicing doing that, practicing by learning a language or memorizing a song lyric or writing or reading. All these things, drawing, are things where we use our brain on some task which takes us away from the task that we have assigned to ourselves, listening for the tinnitus. So yeah. So first, acknowledge that this feedback loop may exist, and know that the distress and anxiety is something that is separate from the sound. That's a tough one, Because if only the sound wasn't there, then you wouldn't be distressed and anxious. But we could also say, if you weren't distressed and anxious, maybe the sound wouldn't be so bad, you know. So learning to not be distressed and anxious because of the sound can go so far. But it's not always easy to do that, especially at first. But you don't have to be distressed about the sound. You don't have to be anxious about the sound. The sound can keep playing, and you can still be okay. And maybe you could be more than okay. You can do wonderful things in your life by just acknowledging, okay, I have the sound, but the separate from the sound is the distress and anxiety, and that's something that I can address separately. That may take some time, but I guess I know it usually does take people, anywhere from a couple of months. I've heard of a couple of weeks, but that would be very rare, to a couple of years, or maybe even 5 years, to habituate to tinnitus. And habituation, you've probably heard me say this a number of times. It's not like something where you just flip a switch and, okay, now I'm habituated. It's just more that you have developed some tools, some methods, so that you are not distressed and anxious so much, and you are able to think about other things, and you get better at that. So anyways, that's my video for today. I hope you're doing okay. And I'm going to try to take a nap in a quiet room. I think I could do it. Okay, have a nice day. See you.